What's going on, everybody? Evan here with Evan's Detailing and Polishing. Sitting in front of me here, I have a brand new buff and I have a used buff. This is a total noob video. I've been getting a lot of questions of a lot of brand new polishers. Now that polishing's kind of taken off and becoming more popular, a lot more beginners are tuning into my channel. First off, I want to appreciate you guys and thank you guys. Respect the industry. I appreciate you guys getting into it and starting to polish. But I have a lot of people asking, what's the proper way to use this polish bar and how do I get it onto the pad? I know this. I know this is a total beginner video, so if you're not interested in beginner videos, just tune out of this one already. This one isn't for you. This is for the guys that are just starting. They don't even know what this is. This is a bar of compound. This goes onto the pads. Now, breaking in a new pad versus using an old pad, I personally don't rake my cut buffs. Now, my color buffs, I'll make another video after this one on how to rake them out and reapply compound, or why I would reapply compound. But in this video, I'm not going to rake this cut buff. I know a lot of people do because it helps get the compound in there easier, but I find raking my cut buffs softens them up, and I don't want to soften my buff. I want it to stay rigid. So yes, when I'm breaking in a brand new buff, yes, I will use more compound to get started. Compound is one of the cheaper things you have in your arsenal. Now, this bar of compound will usually make it for a couple buffs. When you're breaking in a new buff, it's going to burn through a lot more compound. But these compound bars are on average $10 to $20 a piece. If you're buying quality buffs are over $20. So if I'm raking, every time I rake, I'm going to tear pieces of this fabric off. And if I'm softening it up, it's not going to cut as much as I want. So if you want to rake them, go ahead. There's no wrong way to do that. There's nothing wrong with doing that. Me, I'm running a business. For me, running a business, a couple extra cents worth of compound getting lost, breaking in the buff, is way less of an issue for me than softening and wearing my buffs out. Softening and wearing my buffs out is the #1 issue and expense in our shop is buffs. Compounds don't even spend a third of what we spend in buffs every year. So I'm going to show you, I'm going to throw my respirator on, and I'm going to show you how I apply compound to both. The process is exactly the same. I'm going to come in, I'm going to put my left hand on the trigger, and I'm going to hold the bar almost perpendicular with the machine, but I'm going to make sure that when I spin this up, see how the buff's spinning this way? I want to put the polish on the side that's pulling it away from me. Because if I put it on the other side and it catches an edge, it's going to come back and it's going to hit me in the mouth. I don't want to see people with broken teeth. I don't want to see people with a broken jaw. Let's do this the right way. So let's come over here. We're going to start on this side. And we're just going to start on the bottom. And we're going to wrap it over to the top. All right? So start on the bottom and wrap over the top, keeping it parallel, almost perpendicular, a little bit coming in on an angle. But don't come square in like this. If you come square in and it catches an edge, it's going to throw it across the room. All right? So we're going to do this, and that's it. It's now loaded up, and it's good to go and start using. All right. What I'm looking for is I want to see a little bit of polish on the top, a little bit of polish on the bottom. Why? Because if I do tip my pad on a little bit of an edge, I still want compound to be on there so that I'm not dry buffing. Okay. Now, breaking in a brand new buff. Same thing. I set it on my foot, and I keep it away so that it's not going to kick back and grab my pants or come at me. Shout out to these awesome pants. These are Brunt workwear pants. I've worn these 4 days straight. They're just now starting to get dirty, but the dust, if you've been polishing a while and you're still watching this video anyways, the polish does not blow through these and get your legs all dirty. 4 days in a row, my legs are still clean. It's pretty impressive. Also, Brunt work boots, amazing boots. But start on the bottom, wrap over the top, do the exact same thing. But now you can see there's some parts that didn't get used, all right? So some parts that didn't get completely covered. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let that sit for a second and dry, and then I'm going to load it up one more time. Now it's pretty well covered. But when I first start, it's going to dry out really fast because it's not really loaded. We call this a head. This polish that's on here is a head. It has a head of polish on it. Now, This brand new one doesn't have a head yet because it's brand new. Even if I rake this thing out, which I will do for the sake of this video, now it's got a nice soft edge. I can build a head on it rather quick. So as long as you're okay with softening your buffalo, you can build a head, or you can just start running it and build a head that way. Now, I have a lot of compound on there. I could start polishing and doing my thing, and you can start following the other videos from there. But understand, I don't rake these unless I have to, like if I'm using a red dip treated buff. But on oranges and yellows, I don't rake them out. I just load them up with compound. I buff a small section to break it in. I reload it with compound and start building my head. That's what I'm shooting for. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate you guys stopping by, and we'll see you on the next one.